What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be discussing a pretty crazy theory in Boku no Hero. A theory that, if true, could absolutely shatter everything we thought we knew about All For One, the Nomu, and All Might's former master, Nana Shimura. This theory is so crazy that even though it first popped into my head months ago, I honestly felt that it was too out there to be turned into a video. But then I saw a bunch of comments on my other MHA videos talking about the exact same theory. And so I thought, hey, if I'm not the only one having these thoughts, and people in the comments are requesting for me to talk about it, maybe I should make a video after all. Basically, it's not my fault. You guys commented and requested the video, so you made me do it. Seriously though, this theory is a lot of fun to think about, and recent chapters of the manga have definitely given a bit more credence to this theory as new potential evidence has emerged. So I will talk about all of that right here. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed the Boku no Hero videos on this channel and you want us to keep it going, please leave a like to let me know. It really does help. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar or you just haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to turn on all notifications. A huge thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons whose support makes videos like this one possible, especially during these difficult times. I will talk more about Patreon at the end of the video, but first, please be advised that this video will contain Boku no Hero manga spoilers. The theory itself is not a spoiler because it's certainly not confirmed, it's just a theory. But in order to examine the theory, I have to talk about all the latest information in the manga, so this video will contain Boku no Hero manga spoilers. Please proceed with caution, you have been warned. So, as soon as the female high-end Nomu, also known as the woman Nomu, was first introduced in the manga back in like chapter 221, she struck me as unique and potentially important. She is the only Nomu that we've seen with clearly visible breasts, implying that she could be the only female Nomu in existence. She also has a very strong athletic build, which could mean that the human whose body was used to create this Nomu was also athletic. But that's only speculation, since it is possible that the Nomufication process altered her body. So yeah, when she was first introduced as one of the dozen high ends inside of Ujiko's secret lab, I thought that she was interesting, but that's about it. It was only after the big Kurogiri reveal many chapters later that I first started thinking about the possibility that the female Nomu is even more unique than we realize. You will recall that after his arrest and imprisonment in Tartarus, the heroes discovered that Kurogiri was a Nomu created from the corpse of Oboro Shirakumo, the former classmate and close personal friend of Aizawa and present Mike. Now, the thing about Oboro is that he was allegedly killed some 14 years earlier during a battle against a villain. His friends present Mike and Aizawa were devastated by the loss, but they didn't know about the even darker truth. A truth that was revealed to them only after Kurogiri's capture. It turns out that All For One and Ujiko managed to get their hands on Oboro's body, probably through Ujiko's connections in the hospital where his body was taken. The two villains then used Oboro's body as a base in order to create the Nomu known as Kurogiri. And Oboro's quirk Cloud was used as a base to create Kurogiri's quirk Warp Gate. This shocking reveal that Kurogiri was actually Oboro got me thinking. How is it possible that Kurogiri was made so long ago, and yet he is so intelligent that we didn't even realize that he was actually a Nomu for much of the story? We know that the vast majority of Nomu lack even basic intelligence, and the high-end Nomu, the ones who are actually intelligent and capable of speech, have only been introduced recently. They were basically introduced like 14 years after Kurogiri was apparently created. My theory is that Oboro may not have been a corpse at all. That perhaps he was alive when his body was used to create Kurogiri. And so I am speculating that the fact that he was alive resulted in Kurogiri being a far more intelligent Nomu than any of the other Nomu who were created from corpses. That's just my own personal speculation at this point, but now back to the high-end Nomu. While the high-end Nomu are definitely far more intelligent than the other Nomu, The female Nomu in particular seems to be in a league of her own when it comes to intelligence. Soon after she awakens from her container, we see that the female Nomu is far more intelligent than even some of the other high-end Nomu, like for example Hood. Through her inner monologue, we are able to see that she is just as intelligent as a highly intelligent human. If we didn't already know that these were the inner thoughts of a Nomu, we could easily have believed that she was a human. For example, the way that she was able to quickly figure out the nature and effects of Aizawa's quirk and then strategize accordingly tells me that there is something special about this Nomu. And all of this got me thinking, what if the female Nomu's intelligence is a clue that, just like with Kurogiri, there is something special about the female Nomu? What if she was also created from someone who is somehow important to the story? Just like Oboro was important to Aizawa and Present Mike. And which human female with an athletic body is important to the story, has come into contact with All For One, and is currently believed to be dead? The answer is of course Nana Shimura, the former user of One For All, the former master of All Might, and the paternal grandmother of Shigaraki. Nana is believed to have been killed by All For One sometime after she passed on the quirk to her successor, All Might. But the same was believed about Oboro until we learned the dark truth. So what if Nana wasn't killed? Or even if she was killed, what if her corpse was used to eventually create the female Nomu? As I said earlier, my personal theory is that Oboro wasn't dead when he was turned into Kurogiri, and that is why Kurogiri is so much more intelligent than a regular Nomu, even though he was created so many years ago. If creating highly intelligent Nomu was so easy that Ujiko and All For One have been successfully doing it for like 14 years, then why even bother creating all those mindless Nomu who are much weaker than the intelligent ones? The only explanation that I can think of is that most of the Nomu are made from corpses, and this makes them mindless zombies. But a Nomu that is made from a living person rather than a corpse is more intelligent. However, it is of course much harder to get your hands on a live subject than a corpse, and that is why intelligent Nomu like Kurogiri are so rare. Again, this is just my personal speculation. It may turn out to be true, and it may not. So, with that in mind, what if Nana Shimura wasn't actually killed by All For One? What if everyone was just led to believe that she was, like with Oboro, but in reality her body was used to create the female Nomu? I think that Shigaraki's recent procedure proves that these types of operations can be performed on living people and not just on corpses. But even if you do believe that all Nomu come from corpses and you don't accept my live subject theory, could it be that after Nana was killed by All For One, Ujiko and All For One got a hold of her corpse just like they got a hold of Oboro, and they then used her corpse to create the female Nomu? After the whole Kurogiri Oboro reveal, we know that something like this is not impossible, although it is still of course unlikely. I probably wouldn't have made this video at all, despite all the comments, if it wasn't for a major possible clue that we got in chapter 270 of the manga. A clue that may support the Nana Shimura is the female Nomu theory, a theory that I like to call the Nana Nomura theory. Yes, it's cringe, I know, but I like it. Anyway, in chapter 270, it was revealed that Shigaraki has just inherited the original All For One quirk from All For One himself. All For One currently has a copy of his own quirk, while Shigaraki now has the original. In chapter 270, we see Shigaraki, or Shigaraki's consciousness, in a chaotic dream world of sorts, with disembodied hands and rubble floating around everywhere. Now, we all know what Shigaraki's original villain costume used to be. He had 14 disembodied hands covering different parts of his body. All 14 hands apparently came from people that Shigaraki had killed. Ujiko seemingly took their hands, embalmed them, and then used them to create Shigaraki's outfit. The owners of the hands were members of Shigaraki's family that he had accidentally killed, including his sister, mother, and his mother's parents. The owners also included 2 randos that Shigaraki had killed on the street, and finally, Shigaraki's father's hands. Well, actually, the hand that covers Shigaraki's face belonged to his father, but his father's other hand had been destroyed by Shigaraki. So because of this, the last remaining hand, the one on the very top of Shigaraki's head, was added by Ujiko to make the costume complete. But we never really found out where this other hand, the one on the top of his head, actually came from. Was it the hand of just a random individual? Was it an artificial hand? Or was there more to the story? Now back to chapter 270. In this chapter, there is a scene in which Shigaraki's family is trying to stop him from walking towards All for One. All of his family members are there, his sister, mother, maternal grandparents, his father, and they are all holding Shigaraki at the same exact spots where their disembodied hands had been holding his old costume. So, then what about that hand on the top of his head? The hand that seemingly didn't belong to anyone in particular. In chapter 270, that very spot is occupied by the hand of Nana Shimura herself. Nana is of course part of Shigaraki's family, she is his father's mother. But, as far as we know, Shigaraki never even met Nana. She abandoned his father when he was young in order to protect him from the dangers of the pro-hero life, and she presumably died at the hands of All for One before Shigaraki was even born. So why would Nana appear now inside this dreamlike vision and grab that spot at the top of Shigaraki's head? It could all just be symbolic. These are all members of Shigaraki's family, and they're trying to stop him from embracing All for One, his evil mentor who is like an adoptive father to him. And that's definitely a possibility. But what if this isn't just symbolic? What if this is a clue that the mysterious hand on the top of Shigaraki's head, the one that didn't come from any other member of his family, actually came from Nana Shimura, his grandmother? What if, after either killing Nana or gravely injuring her, All for One used her body to create the female Nomu, but he chose to keep one of Nana's hands for whatever reason? That same hand was later used for Shigaraki's villain costume without him even realizing who it had actually belonged to. Eventually, in chapter 270, all of Shigaraki's family is disintegrated inside the dream world, including notably Nana Shimura, as Shigaraki embraces All for One. And then another interesting thing happens at the very end of chapter 270. At the same moment that Shigaraki finally awakens, Deku has a strong gut feeling or premonition. Deku looks extremely disturbed, he stops in his tracks, and he says, "He's coming." We can assume that this premonition or gut feeling comes from Deku's connection to One for All, and we know that Nana's quirk factor is still inside One for All, so Deku is connected to Nana. But was this just some sort of psychic premonition that Deku had as a result of One for All? Or did this feeling come from Nana herself? If Nana really is the female Nomu, perhaps a part of her is still in there somewhere, just like some part of Oboro still seems to be inside of Kurogiri. And since the female Nomu is currently in the exact same location as the newly awakened Shigaraki, maybe Nomu Nana was able to send some sort of signal to her own quirk factor inside of One for All. And so that is why Deku suddenly had such a strong gut feeling that borders on a psychic premonition. I may be looking too much into that aspect of chapter 270, and to be fair, this entire theory may just be based on looking too much into certain details in the story. But it is definitely an intriguing theory nonetheless. If it somehow ended up being true that Nana was used to create the female Nomu, this would make the whole Kurogiri reveal just a warm-up act to the main event, the reveal of Nana Nomura. I mean, imagine how All Might would feel if he found out that not only did All for One kill his master, he actually used her or her body to create a high-end Nomu. This would absolutely crush All Might, and it would definitely push All Might to lose his cool. As a result, All for One and Shigaraki may be able to bait All Might into doing something reckless, and this would give them the opportunity to actually kill the symbol of peace. All Might's potential death has been a major plot point in the story for a long time, And we know that if Shigaraki did ever kill All Might, this would signal the end of the Hero Society as we know it. It would usher in a new dark age of the villains, and it would completely change Deku as a character. The Boku no Hero Society would never be the same again, and if the story really is heading in this direction, the death of All Might at the hands of Shigaraki, it could all depend on the hidden truth about Nana and the female Nomu. It is a crazy theory, to be sure, but with Horikoshi and Boku no Hero, you just never know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you buy into the theory that the female Nomu might actually be Nana Shimura? Or do you think that it was just a random person who was turned into this Nomu? Do you think that any aspect of this theory is possible? Or do you believe that the clues I discussed here were merely coincidental or symbolic? Finally, could Nana or her memory somehow be used by Shigaraki and All for One to bait All Might and kill him at some point in the future? Please share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Boku no Hero content, please leave a like to let me know. It really does help. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar or you just haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. You really have to go through the trouble of clicking that bell and selecting the option that says all. If you don't, you're gonna miss a lot of our videos even if you're subscribed. Unfortunately, that's just how YouTube works. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. I want to give a big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons who make videos like this one possible. A very special thank you to Efren A, a disciple of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, Alolan Atom, The World, Steelers, Tyson Quirino, A Quiet Respect, Pate Hefa, Jonathan King, Desi D, Brandon Aviles, Papa Smurf, Emperor Otaku, and Richie Martinez. Finally, thank you also to all our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, Anatoly Kazatsky, Angel Cruz, iSparky65, Cricket XP, Ted No Ted, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Alicia Octor, Anamole69, Jessica Calafond, Hinokami and Water, Bonnie Parks, Zodiar12, Rathuin Deora, Emperor, Mitch Loves Anime, Cynical, Kraken, and JCC Walk Up. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value for you, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our patron exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these legendary people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.